Alright, got my fog grills installed on both sides. Mounts with 2 screws back here into the fiberglass flange that I fiberglassed in there. You can see right here there's 2 bolts that bolt right into the flange, and that's how it's installed. I'll flip this over and we'll see how it looks from this front side. Alright, there it is from the front side. 3 bars on both sides. I haven't really adjusted them. They're just kind of the way that I had them when I put them on. I can kind of bend these forward. I can, if I want the bars closer together, I can put them closer together. If I want them farther apart, you know, you can do that. You can angle them down. You can angle them closed, and you can have them open the way they have them now. So it looks really cool with them. I think I'm gonna go without the fog lights for a while. I might not ever put fog lights in it, because I kind of like the clean look of it without any fog lights. They didn't always have fog lights in the show, so it's still accurate. But yeah, that's the fog grills installed. From standing position, you can't really see the top grill unless you get kind of low. What I could do is push down that top one a little lower if I wanted to see them all at a different level, standing level. Because here I'm standing up, you can't really see it. It's kind of tucked in there quite a bit. So yeah, there's adjustments on there that I can play around with it, but that's the bumper. It's all polished and cleaned up. It's got some fingerprints on it. Other than that, it's ready to go and installed on this car. And I got all this wired up, all nice and clean. I got my fuse there for my second auxiliary battery. I got all this flex tube on there. Got all my wires nice and tucked inside there with flex tube. I got my smoke release wire here, so when I hook it up, it's ready to go. Another fuse there going into the second battery, into the first battery. And I got my Stinger isolator down in here, all wired up, ready to go. And the flex tubing is really a must on this, in my opinion. It keeps it looking clean. Okay, I got a couple extra wires here. If I ever want to hook anything else up to anything, I have it ready to go right here. What else did I do? Tuck this down into here. I drilled 2 more holes in here. I didn't get it on video, but 2 holes, put some grommets, run your wires through there, and you can see all my wires here for my controller scanner and a couple other stuff, speaker, marine speaker up front, and my camera feed for the camera that I got off Billy on his front tow bar. And then you can see the wiring that I ran down here across here, and it's right over here. Here's all my power wires that go up front, and here's my main 2-gauge battery wire that goes to the battery in the back. And I'm going to run it going across here, and I'm probably going to put the battery on that side because I'm going to keep my spare tire. I don't want to mess with the spare tire. And then I'll have all my wires, you know, running that way, and I'll put my fuse panel back here. I mean my fuse block, and I'll hook everything up at a later time. But for now, at least, I think I can install my bumper because everything's pretty much wired up. This is a ground for my scanner that I left here, and the ground is right up on here, right to this bolt that holds on the impact bar. Yeah, so this is all nice and clean. Everything's ready. And there's Billy's tow bar that I got with the camera that he installed, and the wire goes down the bar and out the back. And then I threw it back. I ran it up here in this little crack right up in there, and then it comes up, and then the power connector, I heat shrinked it right here, and then it goes into the bottom hole here, and then it comes up, and then I got the other RCA here for the video input, heat shrinked here, and the connector, I think there's one more connector somewhere. And there it is, the other connector. That's the other power connector that I heat shrinked here. So it's all clean looking. If I ever got problems, I know where my three areas to look. It was right here, the connector, the main connector, and then these two other ones. Alright, there's the bumper. I'm plugging in the scanner first because it's behind the bar, and then I'll be installing this. And we'll see how it looks. Alright guys, got this thing bolted on there, and you can see I got about an inch from the bar down there, so it doesn't hit the bar. Plenty of clearance under there. And what I like to do is put all the bolts on, but just hand tight, and then get this fender where it fits on there nice and perfect, because this thing pulls in and out at the bottom. And once you get that nice and perfect, maybe get a helper, someone to hold it while you tighten it down. Yeah, this thing's looking good. It's been a long time waiting to get this thing installed, and it finally is on the car. Now you just got to tighten it down. Alright, just bolted this thing up pretty snug. Fits pretty good. And it should, because I even filled that in with a filler on that to get it as perfect as I can get it. See the bolts there. Stainless steel bolts on this side. Washers. Nice and flush when you go across. Car's a little dirty. Fits pretty good. And there it is, bumper installed finally. After months and months and months of work, on and off. I can't say I worked on it every day. Took my time, but it's looking good. Side view. Okay, now all I gotta do is put your bulbs in. Right up in here. Turn, and that's installed. There we go. Turn signals are installed. Piece of cake. Now all I have to do is cut out a piece of plexi cover and put it in place. Alright, next thing I need to do is take my ground cable and ground my scanner bar with this little nut here, and I'll just screw it into the bar itself, sand this little bar down a little bit so it gets contact real good here, and that will ground the bar. I don't even think I need to drill this bar into the metal panel, because this thing is screwed into the actual bumper itself, so it's not going anywhere. It's solid, connected to the scanner shelf itself. And I don't know, I got about like a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch gap there, and then you can see the gap here is quite big, and here it's not as big, and that's again because this slam panel is not straight. It goes in a bow like that. So when you just have the bumper sitting on that slam panel, you're always going to have a sag issue in your bumper usually, because that thing's kind of taking the shape of that slam panel. So and that's why I added these little pieces here, so this hits the slam panel and sits there. And actually it doesn't even look like I need to screw that in, but I could screw it in onto the slam panel just to keep it from jumping when I hit bumps and stuff. But this thing's pretty solid. You can see there's a little shake, so I might screw these in here on the sides, one here and one here. Usually you can screw holes into your scanner shelf too, into the slam panel, but I already put my scanner on. And I probably don't need to screw this in. I don't think I'm going to, so I'm just going to ground this off, and that'll be my ground. That way the bar is grounded, it doesn't fry. Alright, so now I got the ground on. Make sure if you're doing a ground to your scanner, you scratch up or sand all the terminals so it gets a good contact with the ground. And I use the vise to use the crimp. Put the little crimp thing in the vise, and it gets the best nice and tight. And you got one down here. Ground goes to the lug. And that's pretty much it for the scanner. It's installed. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is I got this little air dam piece here that it helps collect the air and goes and cools off the cooling system. So I want to keep that there. Some of the older cars don't even have this plastic, but the 89 Formula did. I think the 86 I had didn't have that added yet. So if you do have that, you can just screw it into your bumper. I mean, it lines up perfectly with the bumper, so just take the screws that go with it. Usually these bigger ones is what goes in it. You can use the smaller ones if you want to. That will work just fine as well if you don't want to put big holes. Either one will work, and you need 6 of them. 3 on this side and 3 on that side. And screw that to the bumper, and it should tuck in there enough that you don't even see the screw heads, because it's the way the spoiler kind of points down, you don't really see up under there too well. Okay, both of these screws can be found at the bottom of the ground effects pieces, and one is bigger than the other. The big one is the one that runs to the front part, and that you'd want to get a 3/16 or a 1364 drill bit for that. And the smaller ones that goes on the side ground effects, the under pieces, that would be a 9/64 or a 1/8 drill bit. And if you're drilling into the fiberglass, that's all you got to do is drill into it, and then that should be good enough to screw into the fiberglass itself. Alright, next thing I got to do is install back my headlights. And so I got them all cleaned up. Use some simple green and got them as clean as I can get them. And the tops are not on them because I don't want to scratch them. So I take the tops off, put these in, and then later we'll put the tops on after it's installed. Alright, headlights are in. It's easy. 1 bolt here, 1 bolt there, and then 2 under the car at the bottom. That's all that holds it on. They're all loose. I didn't tighten them up because I gotta position them with the hood. When I get the hood on, I gotta get it all fitted up on this car, so no point to tighten it down. Same with the fender, it's not tightened down yet. It's actually got 2 bolts in it because I'm just waiting for the hood to be painted now. And so I think I've done it what I can do. I'm kind of stuck now. Can't put the bottom pieces on, and I can't finish up here because I gotta get back to painting that hood. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the car out, sand up the hood, and get it ready for painting, and hopefully get that done pretty soon. That's where I'm at. The bumper's on, and it does look pretty good. with the grills. Alright, this one's got the little scanner lens that's real thin. Fits the scanner to the exact top. And I believe this scanner is about 1 inch high. Slim scanner. And this is with a GoPro camera, so it's going to look more curvy on this than a regular camera would. And now here's a regular camera, how it looks. This is not a GoPro, this is just a regular X film by Casio. And you can see it looks a little bit different. Not as curvy on camera as the other one does, as the GoPro. Side shot. And there's the Knight Industries emblem on there, TPI emblem. Alright, just got the hood to do, and this thing's all wrapped up and finished, exterior wise.